because if we destroy what we have and how we live, you know, it is just as bad as if somebody from outside destroys it. So I think that makes sense, and we talked a lot about that before. The second mega trend in the textile industry is automation. We live in an age of the internet. We see the Internet of Things, right? And there's a famous study from Goldman Sachs that really researched what Nike and Adidas are doing. And what they are doing is they're trying to cut the cycle, the product cycle, dramatically. And they're trying to go from 18 months to 4 months, roughly. Okay? And they're spending literally hundreds of millions on that. And this can only be done with technology, right? Now, we will see robotics at one point in time in the textile industry. Adidas have just built a robot-based shoe manufacturing plant in Germany with 3D printing technology. This is the first time in 20 years that they're building a shoe manufacturing plant in Germany, and they're doing the same thing in the US. Okay, now this is high-end stuff, this is expensive shoes, but it is coming. And it's very odd with robotics, you know. The problem with robotics is that you can handle stiff materials. Rigid materials are very easily handled. The most difficult thing about robotics in shoe manufacturing is actually putting the laces in. Sounds ridiculous, but robots cannot do that. And they still have problems handling textiles because it's not a rigid material, but it's a question of time. There's a company in Atlanta that is producing robots for sewing already. And I looked at that recently, and they just announced a big investment together with a Chinese company. There is an interesting study that says that robots will be twice as productive as workers in China in terms of cost and productivity. Okay, so will that come? Is it coming? We don't know, but you know, it is coming. The question is in what magnitude and when. So automation is certainly a mega trend. The third one is mass customization. Ladies and gentlemen, the days of Henry Ford are gone, right? He said the customer can have my Model T any color he wants as long as it's black, right? That's gone. Today the customer is in the center of things. The customer defines what the industry should do, and the customer wants to be unique, and he wants to distinguish himself from the rest of the crowd. So if you want a unique product and you can get it at a reasonable price and somebody can deliver it, you know, there's an industry there. And actually the MIT estimates that by 2020, 15% of the apparel sold in the US will somehow be customized. Okay, be it by color, fit, style, whatever. So being a company that is innovation-based, we always look at these trends and we try to discuss it, and we see how we can play these trends and how we can jump on that train, and also how we can accelerate the trends. So what we found is actually digital printing caters to all these mega trends in one way or the other, and I'd like to show you how. This is again back to what we discussed. When you compare digital to analog printing, you actually find it much more sustainable than analog in every respect, and especially with regards to excess dyes, thermal energy and wastewater. The savings are tremendous, and here's an interesting aspect. This is not only about sustainability, you actually save a lot of money, right? You make a lot of savings here. You take up much less production space, you have less noise, and it is just a fantastic thing. I mean, we have customers who literally put these machines into, they could be in their living rooms, right? So digital printing has made a significant difference, and Many of you know that Zara, for example, produce a lot in Europe because they have a very short supply chain. Our customers print for Zara, and they have a turnaround of maximum 1-2 weeks. They don't have a lot of time to do that, right? And they make a good living on it because, you know, electricity is very expensive in Europe. You have very stringent regulations on noise and wastewater, and they can fulfill all these requirements. Let's go to automation and digital printing. When we started in 2006, the machine speed was 20 square meters an hour, okay? Toys, right? For all of you, that's a toy, that's not a serious machine, right? Now, we believed in this technology, and today we're seeing machines that can do up to 1,000 square meters an hour. Industry standard is still around 250, 300, 500 square meters an hour. If you go to the fixed array machines, they can do speeds even beyond 2,000 square meters an hour. Okay? So today, we actually have reached a point where this is at rotary printing speeds, right? And you can do cost savings, and you can do many other things. You can do designs that you couldn't do before, and you're very flexible. And automation is also a function of ink technologies. What's interesting here, when you look at the traditional printing area, which is still dominating, right? Still 90% or 95% of all textiles printed are printed in an analog way. 50% of those textiles are printed with pigments. In digital, it's only 2% with pigments. Why? Because the pigment technology is not perceived to be fit yet for digital printing. Now that has changed in the last 2 years as a matter of marketing to get that through to you and to the people who do printing. But in fact, I believe that the growth area will happen here, and then, you know, we will see a huge increase in this technology. Let's go to mass customization. That is my favorite subject. What we're seeing now in Europe and in the US, that people want unique products, right? And you can only do that when you variabilize your cost. If you have a lot of fixed costs for one production run, there's no way you can do, you know, 1-2 pieces there. It's just not economical. Nobody will pay you for that. So what we developed at SPC is the total cost of ownership concept. We actually proved to the customer that through the variabilization of cost and the reduction in working capital, you actually save money versus traditional printing, and you can still be extremely flexible with your customers, and you can be very fast. It is a complicated subject. It's not something you can explain in 20 minutes. You need a couple of hours for that, and you need a sophisticated conversation with the customer. But once you have that relationship, you know, both sides can benefit. And for the fact that you have no minimum orders, right, and you're shrinking the supply chain, back in Europe now and in the US, we actually commissioned one such a plant a couple of weeks ago in Germany. These companies are already on the stock exchange. So what I'm trying to say here is, this is a seminar and this is an event about ecology, but when you combine ecological challenges with technology, you actually get to a lot of opportunities, right? And digital printing is just one example where you can do that. So the question is, how fast will all of this happen? It's happening already. The question is, you know, is it going to be mainstream, and how fast will it be mainstream? So Bill Gates said, we always overestimate the change that will occur in the next 2 years, but we underestimate the change of the next 10 years. So let's not be inactive. I'm saying, I think we're much closer to the 10-year period than we are to the 2-year period. So I think it's time to really have these conversations and take up these technologies and tackle the problem, not only defensively, but also offensively through technology. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention and for the great seminar. Thank you very much.
Who is the origin of Chittagong, whom you know better than me. He's a colleague of mine, a friend of mine. He's down-to-earth person. He's a graduate from engineering, textile engineer from Kolkata University. He's a young, dynamic, good-looking, of course after me. Let me call upon our technical manager, Mr. Arindam Chaudhary.
And especially, it's my honor and a pleasure to be here in such a beautiful evening with so many strong textile leading segment of Bangladesh, with all certification body almost covered, and such a big experience market leaders to share the same stage on a topic of future. So if you see what is the future, we already found out 4 certifications which are almost common. Basically, the fact is everybody wants to live. How? Live healthy. Everybody wants to live long life, to enjoy life and enjoy the nature. But somehow, with few years, the problem in the earth is growing up. Few people say global warming, few people say problem of the temperature, problem of good healthy raw material, good food, pesticides. There are a lot of complaints, and somehow people under severe stress. And being a textile fraternity of last 16 years, I feel partly we are responsible and we have to take the responsibility, because before ZLD has been applied, there are so many factories who even don't know what is ZLD. They feel we have to use water and we have to just throw water, and in between that we have to earn profit and live a healthy life. But somehow those water are contaminated to the soil where we are growing our day-to-day food, and within few decades our next generation maybe face lot of problem for whom we are saving money. So where is the money which we are saving today, can our next generation be utilized? So this is a typical question in everybody's mind. That's why sustainability 2.0. Many people ask me, why 0.0? What is the point? Now the point is very good point. If you see in the mirror, point is a reflection. Similarly, if I say 20.20 is a reflection. So where we today, maybe in 2020 we look more old due to the stress, maybe we are unfit to join our factories due to the contamination of our chemicals which is going to the plant, which normally we use. Even all Bengalis love fish, even I am. But this fish grows where? Where we discharge our water. Because somehow we are the part of dhobis, sophisticated Thai dhobis. Okay, let me go my presentation, which is very technical, and I know you are all hungry, and I am keep waiting, Honorable Imam Sahib, and I have borrowed 15 minutes so that I can rapidly go through my points, which is, I think, valid. Change. Everybody needs change. How? Can this 100 people can say how? After the whole day presentation, can anybody say how? How the change will come? Change will come from government Pardon?
Charity begins at home.
Okay. Next. Anybody? What is the key aspect of change?
First change is the mindset.
Perfect. Next. Change started from myself.
The mindset.
Mindset. Okay.
And I would say collective action.
Perfect. As I rightly said, it's a football game. I need Selim Bhai with me. I need Imam Shah with me. I need Sumit Gupta with me to play from my side to score a goal. What is the goal?
Teamwork.
Sustainability. And I want to leave at least in next 20 years to present again in Bangladesh Sustainability 5.0. Those are vegetarians, they can search phytoplankton, zooplankton for healthy foods. Because somebody told me phytoplankton and zooplankton is the only food have higher nutrition value today. Because some of our chemicals are contaminating the water top level, not the bottom level. Before I go more technical, I want to give 3 points of my company being a sustainable company. Sustainability is not only for the chemicals, sustainability everywhere. If I don't live next 10 years, I am not a sustainable man. If I don't maintain my health, I am not a sustainable man. Similarly, loss-making factory, textile, jute, chemical, pharma, everything, if it is not a profit-oriented company, it is a not sustainable company, my dear friends. So being sustainable, you need a mission. So what I learned from both the directors in last 15 years and last 10 years from Matthias and Thomas, key is sustainability with a mission statement, with a bigger mission. Tarek told, a bigger goal post. See, you can read. We started our chemical company in 1988 with a goal that to become the giant in India. And the entire phase of that journey, after almost 30 years, we are now present in 17 countries with working employees of 120. We have 8 persons in Malaysia who are managing our raw stocks. We have 260 products. We put his all resources to build the company Britacel Silicons Private Limited, then Limited. Then to do more sustainable business, we joined hand with Eurodye CTC, which is a Belgium-based. Lot of people talk about sustainability, but in sizing, we are still using non-sustainable products because we want our loom should run at 1000 to give us more profit from German, Chinese or Japanese loom, but we don't want to put our natural size, which is readily removable from the fabric. In 2012, we started activation of silicon. If everybody followed well Mr. Desai in the panel discussion, he mentioned Britacel did some changes. So when I said changes, I have to go back in my biology book where there was a guy called Charles Darwin. He told adaptations. So change is a big word. Few people say, I don't want to change, I know enough. So why should I change? That means he don't adapt the new generation techniques. And if I say I don't take care of the adaptation policy, then I have to cut all heads of giraffe who adapted long back to feed themselves. So friends, I want to feed myself and my family also. So I am responsible. So we jointly did activation of silicons which reduced the silicon uses on the fabric. And I can say when there is a silicon reduction in the process, somehow my manufacturing input water got reduced. So at the end of the day, it is a sustainable effort from Britacel. And in 2017, we made a vital entry in silicon production over all giant manufacturer of the world. That is the fission technologies. I will come in my next slides. What are the fission technologies? Before that, I want to go our green initiatives. because our whole theme of the program is green. See, zero liquid discharge, who are not aware. I just want to mean, in Goa, we cannot throw a single liter of water in the sea, in the Arabian Sea. But it is not the government. It's Mr. Ketan Desai who thought, be responsible. In afternoon, I tell a good thing, which I cannot generate, I cannot destroy. I cannot generate sea. It's a God given. So why should I waste? Okay, there is a cost of ZLD, but somehow for a sustainable development, we have to bear the cost, low profit our margin, let's talk about it staying in 5-star, be a humble, normal look as a normal businessman, and we invest a lot in our R&D segment. We have implanted rainwater harvesting system since 2013 because Goa, being a coastal Maharashtra, part of Maharashtra, Goa faced a lot of rainfall, particularly mid of June to August, where we got our at least 12% share of our water uses. Then we reduced volatile and silicon offered because somehow our R&D people thought that in future, few certification body like Blue Sign who will ask maybe D4, D5, D6 questions. There are a lot of end users who are using silicons, but I am 100% sure they might not aware what is D4, D5 and D6 silicons. And it's not your fault because last 5 years back, as I said, goalpost always change. We don't know our own silicon causes a problem for the earth on the emission. It's already very known to all, heavy metal, arylamine, bioaccumulative. If you see everybody while they are sitting, there are few notes. Which are the products carcinogenic? So everybody on the back seat, they might see the APO, NPO, panamines, azides. So there are few products which we are used to consume from 1995 to 2002, 2003. That also we omit in the interphase of production. As I said earlier, new technologies. So our activated silicon are ready to use silicon concentrate. When I say any finishing manager of a factory, silicon concentrate, he said, no, I don't want to use. It may create stain. Why? It's simple. If I don't cook my food well, definitely there is some contamination in my food. So that's why we are masters to produce silicon concentrate which are readily used and reduce the water load in our product. And at the end of the day, sustainability is not only the chemical hazards. Sustainability is a hazard when the sustainable chemical are transporting from Goa to Bangladesh, maybe on road, by sea, by using lot of diesel, lot of ships, and somehow if I want to export Bangladesh 10 metric ton silicon for a certain buyer, I always prefer as a sustainable producer to export 3 metric ton of silicon rather than a 10 metric ton silicon. I think that is also sustainable drive today. Then activated products for low consumption. Again, it's the same route. If I make my product more attached to your fabric, then you need less silicon to soft the fabric because everybody needs soft fabric. We cannot wear a harsh fabric, especially the ladies. We developed a low temperature bleaching aid which works at 60 degrees for 45 minutes for the cotton knit bleaching, which is also a sustainable drive because that particular chemical don't require any caustic, which reduce lot of BOD and CODs. We develop a molecule which act sometimes is a soaping agent, sometimes is a dye bath leveling agent, sometimes a dispersing agent, or sometimes is a pigment print dispersing agent or many other reactive print dispersing agent. Why we choose a molecule? Why we don't sell 4 chemicals, being a chemical trader? The only question is same. Somehow sustainability is to reduce your chemical. I think Mr. Pant rightly said we have to reduce. So by reduction, we have to develop a right molecule which to be contribute your fabric for achieve a sustainable goal. As I said, we have a beautiful sizing product which are PVA free, catanol free, any synthetic free. It's a pure grafted starch which is easily washable and biodegradable. I already explained activated silicon. We are running out of time. I don't want to go in depth. If you have any interest, please write me back in your bag. That is my email ID. You can anytime write me to know more about activated silicons, chemical fission, distilled silicons. But the bottom part I have to go through. First I have to just fast forward my slides. Everybody know Dhaka state because Bangladesh also like cricket. If I say stain, few textile fellow will hear stains. Problem. Why? It reduces the RFT percentage. What do you mean by RFT percentage? Is the profitability. Is the damage of sustainability. You need to reprocess. If a fabric is damaged by silicone stain, everybody knows who are handling the production floor, you have to reprocess. Reprocess means more water. Reprocess means more energy. Reprocess means more time. So somehow, as a sustainable manufacturer of silicone, we make our product robust. Now I have to go back my previous slide. Robust silicone, which are high pH stable, OBA stable, and temperature stable. User friendly. What do you mean by user friendly? Suppose a composite unit have a knit processing unit, a garment processing unit, and the oven unit. So in knit processing unit, people want to use silicone in the soft flow machines, and garment unit in the garment machines, and in they want to use in stentors also. So suppose if I give you a one molecule which is fitted for every aspect of textile finishing, that is also a sustainability, because you need less space to storage those chemicals rather than containing 3, 4, 5 chemicals and maintaining lot of data of MSDS and all. So as I said, activation of silicones is the open chain silicone polymer emulsions, readily reactive, easily penetrate on the fabric. Durability of finish, there are few buyers who claim, especially the towel and the bedsheet manufacturer and few outerwear manufacturers wants durability nowadays. So for there, our silicones are more active on the fabric surface and gives more durability. It's consume less, so there is always carbon footprint of the emission energy, because we produce less, so there is a carbon footprint advantage. And then uniform softness. Like 2017, I mentioned that we did some new work on our products like chemical fission. Is talk about a particular particle size of a silicones which readily active on the fabric surface for uniform finishes. It's a better finish from batch to batch, which reduces and maybe which can cater if your yarn or your fabric from backside have a problem of variations in finishes. So somehow our new chemistry, new product will compensate those variations. The equal surface preparation, reduction in silicone consumption, and ease of cross-linking with organic molecules. Okay, we are a company which have ISO 9001:2015, 18001:2007, and 14001:2015, and we are proudly, as Subit already told, we have 117 products which are GOTS 5, and we are already entitled ourselves in ZDSC phase 1. Maybe within next 2 months our products are showing in the ZDSC website. Last 7 months we are fighting with talks for the green skin certificate, and maybe in next 2 months our product will be at least 19 products are under talks for the government fellow who are award. And yeah, obviously Blue Sign is in near future. Maybe in next 2 months will be Blue Sign compliance. Dhanyabad. Thank you. Before I leave the stage, before I leave the dais or maybe where I am standing, I have one appeal towards you. Just like when every people fly or going in a train or in a bus, we believe on the capacity or capability of the driver or a pilot. Why we believe? Because everybody believes that that guy is highly professional to run the bus, to run the fly the aircraft, or maybe run the train. Similarly, my dear friends, please believe on Britacel and help us to go sustainability 5.0 in next 30 years. Please, thank you.
Usually after every lunch or dinner, the sweet comes at the end. After end of the race, the winner cut the ribbon. At the movie, the happy end comes at the end, and that is called delayed gratification. Here in this session, we shared happy end for all of you. And now comes the person who, according to me and what I heard about him, most influential speaker, he who germinate, he who cultivate the thoughts. He is the first cabinet secretary to the government of Bangladesh during Great Liberation War 1971. He is a Secretary Cabinet Division in year 1972 to 75. He is a Secretary Road and Road Transport Division. He is Executive Director of Jamuna Multipurpose Bridge Authority. He is advisor to Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, with a big round of applause, I like to call upon respected Honorable Tawfiq Imam Sahab. I request Mr. Thomas Hager if you can come and honor our respected guest.
As a matter of fact, when Mr. Mahbubul Haq Hanif called me, it's more than almost a month back, that I have to be the chief guest in a function that is to be organized under the sponsorship of Britacel and beyond, and it would be called Go Green, Save Earth, and on sustainability. I was rather pleasantly surprised, because this is something, the issues that you discussed here, some of them, they touch on national policy making, policy framework. Some of them are indeed matters of great, not only grave concern for the country, for the people and the government, but also for the future generations. But most of those which I listened to, especially when Mr. Arindam, he spoke with good deal of agility and also a good deal of facility with his own subject. But then it was all Greek to me. I have been introduced this evening to a subject, sustainability, and also the other technical areas which I haven't come across, because I deal with matters which you don't deal with, which is mostly politics, administration, management, human resources and all that. But at the end of the day, whether you are on the other side, you are on the other side of the table, or I am on this side, and whether you are making fabrics or making dyes, dye stuff, or making them as green as possible, thinking of the future, or whether we are thinking of feeding our population, or let us say in the current situation, providing medical treatment, giving shelter to the huge Rohingya population, more than almost 500,000 that have converged on us all of a sudden without any planning or any future, any warning. Now this is something, all of these issues, these converge on one particular point, and that is the humankind. How do we live better? How do we make the world better, not only for us, but also for our future generations? And I'm indeed very happy today, this evening, when I heard about all of this, directly or indirectly from you, because you are talking about a greener world, you are talking about automation in the industry, you are talking about digitization, you are talking about how to make this industry more friendly, cheaper, easier to handle, and also you are talking of use of water, use of our limited resources, all of this, gas, etc. But the focal point always remains the human being, the improvement of the human being, his surrounding, the environment in which he lives, and the things that he have to do. Even this afternoon, I was delivered a copy of the magazine Textile Today. And this is